The morning mist hung low over Willowbrook Lake, turning the water into a shimmering veil of silver. I stood on my weathered oak dock, cradling a steaming mug of black coffee, the kind that bites back just enough to wake you up. The air smelled of pine and damp earth, a scent that had grounded my family for generations. This lake, all 80 acres of it, had been my grandfather's sanctuary after the war, and now it was mine. I'd traded boardrooms and blueprints for this quiet life, leaving behind the grind of civil engineering to reclaim some peace. But peace, as I've learned, doesn't always last. A sharp crunch of tires on gravel shattered the stillness. I didn't turn right away, but the voice that followed demanded attention. "Stop right there. You're trespassing on federal protected waters." It was shrill, authoritative, the tone of someone used to getting their way. I set my mug down and faced her. Victoria Langford, the HOA president, her auburn hair perfectly coiffed, clad in a sharp emerald pantsuit that screamed boardroom battle. Flanked by two volunteers clutching thick binders emblazoned with environmental safeguards in bold, officious print, she marched toward me like she owned the place. "Morning, Victoria," I said evenly, sipping my coffee. She ignored the greeting, yanking out her phone. "Dispatch, send units to Willowbrook Lake immediately. Trespasser on sanctuary property, potential ecological violation." Her volunteers, a twitchy man with a goatee named Carl and a stern woman called Rita, held up their binders like shields. Carl cleared his throat. "Sir, under Federal Wetland Ordinance subsection 14, unauthorized access to restricted zones is prohibited." I raised an eyebrow. "Restricted zones? This is my lake, Carl." Victoria's eyes narrowed. "Not anymore. It's been redesignated. You must have missed the memos." "There were no memos," I replied calmly. She waved me off. "Excuses won't help. The authorities will handle this." The distant hum of an engine grew louder, a sheriff's truck winding down the dirt road. Dust kicked up in its wake as Deputy Harlan Brooks pulled up, stepping out with the resigned air of a man who'd rather be fishing. He adjusted his belt and scanned the scene. "Morning, Daniel. What's the ruckus?" Before I could speak, Victoria thrust a binder at him. "Officer, this man is breaching federal sanctuary protocols. We demand immediate removal." Harlan scratched his jaw. "Ma'am, this here's private land. Been in the Harrington family for decades." "Was private," Victoria corrected sharply. "As of last month, Willowbrook Lake falls under the Ecological Preservation Mandate. Documents here prove it." Harlan took a page, squinting at the stamps and seals. "Notifications go through the HOA Oversight Committee," she said, hand on hip. I stepped forward. "Harlan, those aren't real federal docs. Probably printed yesterday." Victoria whirled on me. "You have no right to challenge official records." Harlan glanced between us, caught in the crossfire. "When was the redesignation?" 32 days ago, post-habitat survey," she recited. A voice chuckled from the treeline. "Survey? Only critters surveying out here are the squirrels." Sam Whitaker, retired mechanic and lake old-timer, emerged with a thermos in hand. He handed me one and planted himself firmly. "Daniel, she's pulled this on the Millers and the Pattersons before." Victoria's voice iced over. "Samuel, this doesn't concern you." Sam ignored her. "Funny how those families sold up right after her binder brigade showed." "Voluntary decisions," she snapped. "To avoid federal penalties." Sam's eyes hardened. "More like bullied out." Harlan cleared his throat. "Victoria, I need county verification on this." She shoved the binder closer. "These are verified." I plucked a page before she could react. "Look at this emblem, Harlan. That's an outdated fish and wildlife stamp. Wrong department entirely." Sam snorted. Mixed up her phony stamps. Victoria's composure cracked slightly. "Mr. Harrington, you have 20 minutes to leave before we involve higher enforcement." "Higher?" Sam echoed. "Federal compliance officers," she said with a smirk. A chill ran through me, not from fear, but realization. This wasn't about birds or wetlands. It was a ploy, and she'd run it successfully before. I handed the page back. "Harlan, deeds are clear. No federal claims. Check your records." "I will," he said, heading to his truck. "Something's off here." Victoria's face twitched. "You'll regret this opposition." Sam leaned in as she stormed off. "She's gunning for your land, same as the others." The sun climbed higher, gilding the lake. I knew he was right. What did she really want? And how far would she go? By afternoon, the lake's calm had returned, dragonflies skimming the surface like tiny helicopters. But tension simmered beneath. Sam had left, vowing to watch from afar. I was repairing a loose plank when engines roared, multiple, aggressive. Four SUVs barreled down my drive, halting in a dust cloud. Victoria emerged first, now in a khaki uniform that screamed official but screamed fake, louder, wrong patches, mismatched insignia. Behind her, a half-dozen lackeys in similar get-ups spilled out, armed with stakes, signs, and tape. "Mr. Harrington," she declared, "under Wetlands Act subsection 8. We're here for boundary enforcement and zone allocation." "Boundaries?" I asked. She signaled, and her team swarmed, hammering stakes, stringing orange tape along my shore. Signs popped up, federal wetlands, no entry. One even had a cheap barcode sticker. "This is private property," I said. "Not after realignment," she countered. "HOA provisional authority under federal guidelines." "That's nonsense," I replied. "What species?" I pressed. He faltered. Victoria jumped in. "Migratory waterfowl, the spotted crest heron." Sam's words echoed. She wouldn't know a heron from a hawk. "No such bird," I said. "You're no expert," she dismissed. But I was closer than she knew. She unrolled a map, my lake redrawn, red zone swallowing my dock, cabin, woods. HOA control over federal habitat. Ridiculous, yet perilous. Lies spread fast. A volunteer taped my cabin steps. "Hey," I barked. "Not my home. Your structure encroaches on a watershed buffer," she said. "Evacuate pending review." "You're evicting me?" "Temporarily," she smiled. Rage simmered, but I breathed deep. I strode past her into the cabin, ignoring protests. Inside, I unlocked my grandfather's mahogany desk, dialing the combination on a steel case. Outside, Victoria barked orders. The case clicked open, documents not just proving ownership, but my leverage. I latched it and stepped out. "What's that?" she demanded. "In-game," I said softly. She laughed. "Paper won't save you." The breeze stilled. She had no clue. Next dawn, fog blanketed the lake like a shroud. Sun pierced through pines as I gripped the case on the dock. Sam wasn't here yet, but engines were. 3 gleaming Escalades, a tinted truck, a van labeled EcoGuard Assessment Team with peeling decals. Victoria strode out, navy blazer, fake badge. Beside her, Edward Langford, her husband, ex-lawyer, exuding false polish, briefcase in tow. Sam appeared from the woods. "That's her hubby, Edward. Shady as they come." Edward extended a hand. "Mr. Harrington, Edward Langford, HOA legal arm." I didn't shake. Non-existent arm. His smile faltered. "You're impeding a sanctuary evaluation, violation of Title 5C, Eco Protection Code." "Code doesn't exist," I said. "Recent amendments," he hedged. "I'm versed in them," I replied. "Drafted some myself in my prior role." Victoria stiffened. Edward blinked. Sam whispered, "They didn't expect that." Edward produced docs. "Our review shows critical habitat needs." Sam chuckled. "From your van window?" A map emerged, my land zoned red for mandatory acquisition, fair market compensation. "Fair," Sam scoffed. "Adjusted appraisals," Edward said. "By EcoGuard Holdings, your firm," I noted. The ploy crystallized. Fake sanctuary, forged threats, forced sales cheap. Edward closed his case. "Sell now, avoid probes." Blood boiled. "Probes from real agencies? Bring them." Victoria sneered. "You defy oversight?" "You mean your scam," Sam said. Edward shot her a glare, but she pressed. "This lake's purity tops charts, 40% above norms. Prime real estate. We need it." She'd slipped, the quiet part aloud. Edward winced. The fog lifted, lake gleaming. "They thought me isolated, pushable." "Wrong." I lifted my case. "You underestimate me." Victoria smirked. "We've outplayed everyone before." "Not me," I said. "Not with what I hold." Uncertainty flickered. Why the desperation? They thought it easy. But storms brew quietly. Evening brought retreat, leaving debris like battlefield remnants. Sun dipped, lake darkening to ink. Inside, the case sat open, verified deeds, water logs, my senatorial credentials. enough to dismantle them. A knock. Sam's code. He entered, eyeing papers. Planning a counter? Staying ahead, I said. He sighed. They've run this con long. Millers wanted quiet. Pattersons had debts. Harringtons? Bullied. I stared at the lake. Now me. They see you as easy, solo, no kin. But I'm not, I said, pulling my phone. Encrypted app glowed. Sam's brows rose. No. I dialed. It's time. Understood. Deploying team, the voice replied. Sam blinked. Quick. They've waited for cons like this. He nodded. Tomorrow's big. Wind howled. A light flickered across the lake. A reclaimed cabin. I'm ready. The app blinked. Unit inbound. Dawn. Quiet ended. Dawn chilled. Breath visible. Coffee steamed as I waited. Engines roared. Victoria's convoy. Doors slamming. Fake uniforms swarming. Mr. Harrington, she bellowed. Emergency eco probe. Vacate. Sam hissed from trees. Full raid staging. They taped zones, donned gloves, planted samples. I saw one bury phony dirt. Contamination confirmed, she crowed. Feds incoming. Then, rotors thumped. Fog parted, black chopper landed. Agent Elena Ramirez stepped out, badge gleaming. Mrs. Langford? Victoria faltered. Yes, I. Cease speaking. Sam stifled a laugh. Elena turned. Mr. Harrington. Agent. She had the farce. Explain. Fake raid. Planted evidence. To seize my lake. Elena faced Victoria. Impersonation. Felony. Gasps rippled. And on Senator Daniel Harrington's property. Shockwave. Sam's jaw dropped. Victoria blanched. Edward gaped. Elena, Senator? I nodded. Environmental Committee 8 years. Co-authored Anti-HOA Act, effective days ago. Victoria reeled. That law makes this criminal, I finished. Elena, you're under probe for forgery, fraud, intimidation. Victoria sputtered. Misunderstanding. No, Elena snapped. Sam, crumbling. But the real team arrived. SUVs, agents securing fakes. Agent Marcus Delgado reviewed. Matches prior cases. Cuffs clicked. Victoria shrieked. Political. Delgado, criminal. Thomas complied silently. Volunteers wilted, evidence bagged. Delgado to me. Senator, restitution recommended for victims. Holdings dissolved. I nodded. They deserve justice. As they loaded away, lake calmed. Fear ended. Accountability began. 6 months on, snow melted, lake pristine. Families returned. Miller's deed restored. Patterson's compensated. HOA vanished. On the dock, Sam joined me. Heard the Millers are back. Yes. Restitution full. Your act did it. Attention did. Sheriff Harlan arrived. Lake certified cleanest in state. Using your grandpa's methods for training. Overdue, I said. He left. Sam. Lake saved itself through you. Maybe. My phone buzzed. Urgent. HOA seizing veterans' land, Wyoming. Seeking anti-HOA guidance. Sam, more trouble. More to fix. Lake rippled approvingly. Justice rolled on. What do you think about the themes of injustice and bullying in everyday life? Share your opinions in the comments below. Take a stand and let us know where you stand on standing up to unfair power. Your thoughts could spark important discussions.